Live from the House of LeMay Makeup and Dressing Room.
Here comes Amber. Stop what you're doing. Here comes Amber. She's just doing what she can. Here comes Amber. Cue the spotlight. Here comes Amber with 2 drinks in her hand. The matriarch of fashion, secret sewer glasses, you can't look away. Ask her, does she do it? There's really nothing to it. She's got that feminine game. If you have a party, or if you're feeling naughty, call up the House of LeMay. Here comes your favorite gal. Here comes your queen. Here comes the talk of the town. And we're live tonight. The music starts playing. It's time for cabareting. And we're live tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn off all cell phones and get ready for your host, Amber LeMay.
When will it end? In Tulsa, Oklahoma, a donut shop was vandalized twice in 2 weeks because they hosted an art installation called the Queen's Dirty Dozen. After the banning of pride flags was lifted in the Yamhill County School District in Oregon, a masked person approached the home of a school employee, lit the pride flag on fire, and performed a Nazi salute. What can we do to stop this madness? What's the worst thing Elon Musk has done lately? Was it removing safety protocols from Twitter and releasing a surge in hateful content? Was it retweeting a horrible homophobic story from a known QAnon blog? Nope. The winner is Elon has launched a new fragrance called Burnt Hair, which smells like the essence of repugnant desire, according to Vanity Fair. Let's hope he leaves for Mars soon before he totally destroys this planet. Would you want to smell like burnt hair? Charitable giving season has begun. My favorite new charity is Clothes and Hose. They have boxes out all over Chicago, apparently. While some may think this is like a take a penny, leave a penny tray, you are just supposed to drop things off here. But I hope they come around to collect them often because I'm not sure how many used hose will fit in these boxes. I really don't. Hi there, Amber LeMay here. But first, I want you to like, share, and subscribe because we're going to have a fun show tonight. That's for sure. Now, I know, you're all tired of hearing about this year's midterm elections, but you haven't heard what I have to say about it in this week's news briefs. One of the gratifying aspects of bringing you Amber Live is introducing you to the people who either are or want to be deciding on the laws that we live under. And it's even more gratifying when they win, whether for re-election or for the first time. Now, back in November 2020, I interviewed then Pennsylvania's Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman. He hadn't yet declared he was going to run for the U.S. Senate, but let's just say it was a pretty good guess that he was. And he did. And he won. Also on that show was his lovely wife, Giselle Barreto, and comedian Hal Sparks. Check out that show on YouTube. Now, after she ran and won as one of Pennsylvania's state representatives, we talked to Jessica Benham, as she was one of the very few members of the GLBTQ community to serve in the Harrisburg State House. This week, she ran for re-election and won handily. Earlier this year, we spoke with Alabama's only openly gay state legislator and former Marine Neil Rafferty. Neil also won re-election. And here in Vermont, several-time guest, former Lieutenant Governor David Zuckerman decided he wanted his old office back, and he got it, this time without his signature ponytail. And Vermont state reps Taylor Small and Brian Cena were also re-elected to go back to Montpelier. I want to congratulate all these former guests and to let them know they're always welcome back here at Amber Live. And that's this week's news briefs. That's right. That's all it is for now, but let's bring Russell in.
Hey, Amber.
Hey, Russell, we got a great show. So let's get started.
Oh, my goodness, do we have a great show?
Yeah, so I know we got some new viewers tonight. Tell them quickly how they can watch it in the
Yep.
best way.
Looks like we have a whole bunch of new viewers. So let me tell you, the best way to be watching tonight is on youtube.com/Amber Live. And that is because there you can see Amber in full HD, and you can also chat with your friends in the chat room on YouTube. Also, don't forget we have a TikTok, an Instagram, a Facebook, and even a website. There's so much of Amber Live. And if you can't watch Amber Live, I take the interviews and turn them into podcasts that you can find anywhere that great podcasts play. So get out there, see Amber. She's all over the place. You won't believe it.
That's right. And, people were asking, we used to do Amber Chat on Wednesday nights. And, well, we didn't do it last Wednesday. We're cutting back to just the first Wednesday of every month. But we'll be back with Amber Chat the first Wednesday of December. So thank you for asking. All right, Russell, what's next?
Yes, what's next is the Caption This. When we do a live show, we have a funny picture. We want captions for it. So if you've got a great caption for tonight's picture that's in the theme of the show tonight, there it is. If you've got a funny caption for that, send it into Jack in the comments, label it as a caption, and then later on in the show, we'll take a look at what you had to write and get a few laughs, hopefully.
Hopefully, yes. What's next, Russell?
Next is the Boostiers, the people that help us out and keep us going and growing. They are so important to Amber Live, and we want to thank you all, to our super Boostiers and our regular Boostiers. And you can see there, if you'd like to become a Boostier, join Venmo at RJD Pro and send us a donation, or you can go to our website, amberlive.tv, and look for the Support Amber Live button. And if you'd like to donate, any amount is welcome. But $25 or more, I will send you an Amber Live sticker. $100 or more, you'll get a sticker, a magnet. And for $200 or more, you'll get a sticker, a magnet, and one of our great mugs. And note that we still have the old logo available, but soon we'll be moving to our new logo. So as you can see up in the corner there, some of them are starting to appear already in the store. So if you want something with the new logo on it, go to the amberlive.tv and place your order.
I'm being rebranded. Oh, boy.
Who knew you were branded the first time?
All right, Russell, who are our guests tonight?
Boy, do we have guests tonight all lined up, and they all have to do with John Waters and Divine. We can't forget Divine. So we have Scott Elkins, who runs a fan page on Instagram and has like 107,000 followers on his fan page, all about Divine and John Waters, and it's amazing. And then we have Mr. B Nation, who creates artwork around John Waters and Divine and all of those, and all the other people as well involved. And you'll get a chance to see his artwork and chat with him. And then our old friend Irving Green is coming back because he's managed to get himself into a movie with John Waters. So we can't wait to hear about that. So it's going to be a very watery evening.
So in the comments, write down any comments you have about John Waters, your favorite John Waters film, or anything else that you want to ask maybe our guests. So feel free to go into the comments and put them out there, and we'll see what we can do. All right, Russell, are we ready?
I think we are ready. So have a great show, Amber.
All right, see you later, Russell. All right, our first guest tonight is Scott Elkins. Scott, come on in.
Hey, Amber, thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Now tell us what your connection with John Waters is.
My connection, as a young kid, I think I saw a movie and I just knew something was a little different about him, about his characters, about his films. And there was some queerness, I think, about him too, that wasn't really I was in my area where I was raised. I didn't see a lot of queerness, of course, and I could see this. And although his characters are outrageous and crazy and over the top, I could almost sympathize with some of them. Just, I don't know. I mean, his main character is a woman, but it's played by a man. I mean, yeah. So I've just always been interested. He's kooky, he's clever. Just
now, the first time you saw Divine, did you know that was a man playing a woman?
I don't think I knew the first time.
No, I was young too, and I'm going.
I knew
I don't
something was
know.
up. I knew I was like, something's up, and I don't mind. I like it, but I thought this. I didn't know what was up, but I liked it.
So, where did you grow up?
I grew up in a small town in West Virginia. So not Virginia, not Western Virginia, West Virginia, which some
West
people
by
don't.
God, Virginia.
Right, West by God, Virginia is the term. But
What small town?
Madison, West Virginia.
Madison, West Virginia. It sounds wonderful.
Madison is, I don't know if you've ever heard of the dancing outlaw Jesco White, but he is also from Madison, West Virginia,
All right.
unfortunately.
So what you had a keen interest in John Waters. So how did that develop to what you do today?
When you're interested in John Waters, it just seems like you get sucked into this black hole of wanting to see everything that they've done, everything that he's done. He's ultimately a writer. He's written every film that he's ever directed, and it just gets crazier and crazier. I mean, if you're lucky enough to start out in the early films, the filth films, the shock value films, I feel like you're maybe a little bit more lucky. But if you start with Hairspray and you go backwards, it's maybe a little more shocking.
Yeah, the majority of the people who are aware of John Waters think of Hairspray. There's a lot.
I think of Hairspray.
There's a lot. So what do you do with your fandom of John Waters?
Well, it's basically a way for me to connect with like-minded people like myself, John Waters nerds, so to speak. I get to meet artists. I've got to connect with people that have been in his films in the years. I've got to talk to Tracy Lords, Ricky Lake, several people. My goal was to get free stuff at first, if I'm honest, and it worked. The other guest, Mr. B Nation on the show, we and him have a connection with me sharing his art, and I get a lot of his pins, but that has worked, and now I'm getting to come and talk to people like you, and this was the goal.
So how do you share? What information do you have that you share?
Well, I share memes, like screenshots of the movies. I do share information of his tours, any kind of products that are coming out, dates, film, anytime that they're doing films. Like you can go to literally a theater and watch a John Waters movie. I'll share just all information on John, Divine, anything adjacent to that.
Well, so tell me about Divine. What are your impressions of Divine? You said it a little earlier. You talked a little bit earlier, but tell me more about Divine.
Divine to me was just this. Once I figured out who Divine was, I was just so interested. Divine started out as they thought they were terrible actors in the beginning, but they were actually really good actors. I don't know, Divine's just clever. She could deliver the lines right. They're outrageous. She grabs you. She can keep your attention. Divine even had a recording career. Divine did disco, for God's sake, and dance music.
Oh yeah, Divine had a vast career.
Yes.
And what was it? The week before she died, they were supposed to be on Married with Children. Yes, just finally branching out and becoming. I don't think they wanted to be mainstream, but to be accepted.
Right,
yes, this is me.
John always says that Divine wanted to play parts as a man. I mean, he just wanted to be an actor, a working actor.
You use what you got, and they certainly did. So, what's your favorite John Waters movies?
I have an AD and a BC, so to speak.
Okay.
The BC would probably be Female Trouble, which Divine. That's in my opinion Divine's best role ever as Don Davenport. AD. Divine is not in the movie, but it's Serial Mom. But Hairspray is a close second.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about Dirty Shame?
I like Dirty Shame a lot. I was
like
better in Solidarity Shame.
I really like that, and the soundtrack. If you ever get a chance to get a copy of the soundtrack, it's a wonderful, fun soundtrack with Johnny Knoxville. Even
I love those soundtracks. Speaking of Johnny Knoxville, not and I've already posted about this. Johnny Knoxville will be one of the guest camp counselors in 2023 at Camp John Waters in Kent, Connecticut.
Oh my gosh! Have you ever been to the camp?
Unfortunately, I have not been able to make it to camp, but I will make it someday.
What's involved with the John Waters camp?
John Waters camp, as far as I've heard, people I've talked to, you go there, it's fun, it's debauchery. There's no children. It's an adult camp. It's Camp Getaway in Kent, Connecticut. They play games. You can swim. It's in September, so it's still hot. You eat, you drink, you get to have dinner with John and usually Mink Stoll, and you'll get to basically like meet and greet. Last year, who was there? Kathleen Turner and Patricia Hearst was there last year, which is no, that might have been the year before. Yeah, that was the year before last year. But it's crazy, isn't that? Could you imagine being somewhere where Patricia Hearst is?
Oh my gosh, no, Patty Hearst. I remember when she was kidnapped. Oh yes. And Johnny Knoxville's in the show that just finished up. I think it was on Hulu. Reboot, and he was great in that.
I need to watch that.
I like him as an actor. Have you met John Waters?
I have actually met John Waters. This was about 4 or 5 years ago. I decided to go. I think this was when he had his art exhibit called Indecent Exposure, which he also simultaneously put out a catalog, a book, a $50 book. So you could go to BMA, the Baltimore Museum of Art, and listen to him talk about it. And then you could stand in line and you could bring anything that you want. He would sign it. Pre-COVID, of course. But I did get to see him there, talk to him. It's very brief. But the one thing that stood out to me and I thought was funny and cool is he kept just raising his glass. I'm pretty sure he had a good buzz. I was so close to him, I could smell his breath. He had white wine breath. But he kept putting his glass up, and they just kept bringing him full glasses of white wine, which I thought, God, that's power.
What did you take to have him sign?
Well, he signed the book. There was an advocate years ago that they did on the cover. It was him and Homer Simpson. It was this episode of when John was on The Simpsons. It's called Homer's Phobia. But he signed that. He said, I haven't seen this in years.
Oh, well, Scott, that is so cool. Scott, thank you so much. We're going to have you back later on because we have some other guests, and you're connected with both of our other guests because you and Mr. B Nation correspond, never met in person or anything.
Right.
And tell us the connection with Irving Green. Tell us that.
Irving Green, literally today, 2 people have emailed me and said, oh my God, I know Irving Green. One of them is Noah Brody. Noah Brody is he runs the estate of Divine. So he runs the Divine official Instagram, and they sell merchandise. And the other one is someone actually from the state that I live in. His name is Derek. He lives in Los Angeles, but he's like, I used to work with Irving. They both said they worked with Irving, and I just thought, this is just such a small world.
I've worked with Irving too. He gets around.
What kind of work?
All right, Scott, we'll have you back later on in the show. Thank you so much for talking to us. All right. And, I said, who would have something about John Waters or Divine up in my attic? Who would find that? And guess what? Dwayne Scott Cerny did.
What's in your attic?
Who was the greatest cult star of all? Elvis? James Dean? Marilyn Monroe? Divine? Yes, I said Divine. Harris Glenn Milstead, a.k.a. Divine. He lived hard, died young, and busted his ass off to become famous, if not infamous. I doubt there would ever have been a Divine as we know him without a John Waters, and vice versa. Today's audiences know of Divine from contemporary films such as Hairspray and Polyester. But it was the oldies and bad taste epics, such as Pink Flamingos, Female Trouble, Multiple Maniacs, and countless others, which graced his legacy. In his short 42 years of life, Divine packed in a lot of living and a lot of truly great work. Between films, Divine recorded hit singles, took his nightclub act around the world, and became an international star. And if that weren't enough, he appeared in many successful and hysterically funny plays. Neon Women and Women Behind Bars, both penned by Tom Ien, were huge hits, playing every major city they could break into. During the 1970s, Divine was everywhere and everyone wanted to see him. Outrageousness was his brilliance, and comedy was his art. And like many comics, he could break your heart when he chose to be serious. Check out his dramatic star turns in the highly underrated film Trouble in Mind from 1985. His gay fans worshipped him, and perhaps not surprisingly, many straight men found the Divine persona particularly appealing, or so he said. Divine's recording career is often overshadowed by his film work, but his catchy music and videos brought him into the 80s and beyond. Today, Divine is more collectible than ever. His various shocking images appearing on everything from t-shirts, greeting cards, paper dolls, and poster art don't get me started. An incredible journey for an effeminate boy from 1940s Baltimore. As big as Elvis? All weight jokes aside, yes, Elvis never toured and smashed theatrical comedies, and I'd wager Divine's films are infinitely better. Divine made bad look good. And as for Elvis's acting, well, it's a good thing he was handsome. James Dean, a remarkable actor who became a legend before his last film was even released. I'm also guessing he wasn't that musical. And as for Marilyn Monroe, well, that was truly drag. What a looker, a dedicated actress, a wonderful comedian, and a mediocre singer. But again, Divine covered the waterfront, as they say, a triple threat. Plus being plus-sized, he made you look. You couldn't look away. And then he made you laugh. And you're still laughing with him until the end of all tomorrows.
What's in your attic?
I was wondering, I go, what is that god awful sweater he's wearing? Until he stood up and I go, that's something nice. That's something very nice. Well, we have another super fan of John Waters and Divine coming in, and that's Mr. B Nation. Mr. B, come in.
Hello, Amber.
Hello there. Hello there. All right, Mr. B Nation. First, tell us where you are physically and then where you are from originally.
Physically, I'm in Ontario in Canada, just north of Toronto.
But that accent is not quite Canadian.
No, I'm originally from Glasgow, Scotland, but I'm got dual citizenship now and I'm Canadian.
Well, very good. Very good. So when did you become attracted to John Waters and Divine?
Like Scott said, like a lot of people, it would have been Hairspray was my introduction. And the love of Divine, though, came not through Hairspray, because in Hairspray, Edna's not the most glamorous of characters. But in the UK, Divine was very famous as the disco and high energy star. So I knew Divine from music videos and from Top of the Pops. And I just made the connection somehow of Divine from Hairspray and Divine from Top of the Pops, and realizing that this person was a chameleon and could go from this filthy old man into this glamorous icon.
Did you ever see Divine in person?
Oh no, I'm far too young.
Oh. You can't see my finger down here.
No, I'm afraid. The time where me and Divine's lives overlapped, I would have been far too young to be in any of the nightclubs or anything where Divine was appearing. So I wish.
What do you do with your fandom? Your admiration?
Well, I funnel mine onto fan art online on Instagram. I watch the movies endlessly. So when I draw, I naturally will draw the movies. These are my favorite characters in my favorite movies. So I will just draw them again and again endlessly.
That's your profession, or is that
No,
artwork?
no, absolutely not a profession at all. This is just a hobby. This is just what I do. That was one of my pieces there. And there's another one that's me imagining a Pink Flamingos poster without using any of the common iconography. That was my challenge for that one, to not use anything that has ever been used for one of the posters before. So I'll do things like that.
Do we have another one?
Oh, yep. That was me from a series I done where it was Pink Flamingos and the style of a kid's reading alphabet book. So that was D is for Do My Balls Mama. And that's the name of John's tour. And I guess his philosophy via movies. And this is Matisse versus mixed in with some John Waters from Female Trouble. Mixing up some old art with some new art. Classic Pink Flamingos. Classic.
What's your medium? What's your medium? What do you work with?
I do digitally. So I started on Instagram. When I started my very first drawings that I would do on Instagram, I drew on a phone. I used a stylus and I drew tiny, and I would have to zoom in and I would draw on a phone. And then I worked my way up till I eventually got an iPad, and now I draw on an iPad. So that way, if I make a mistake, I can backspace and fix it. And that means I can produce a full drawing in one night. So that's why I can do so many, because the medium I used is is very quick, and I can hyper focus, and I will do something, a full drawing in one evening.
What do you do with those pieces?
Nothing. I post them on Instagram, and hope for people like them. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're a bit too much of a stretch for people's imaginations in John Waters' worlds. So
that's kind of hard to believe that someone in John Waters' world has a limited view or limited imagination.
Oh yeah, exactly. So like some of the more conceptual ones. So like the drawing that you showed there of the Matisse one. That one, when I originally posted that, maybe last year, the year before, nobody cared. It got posted. It was too much for people to think Matisse and Female Trouble, and what would they look like if Matisse watched Female Trouble. That was my inspiration. But now I reposted it this week, and more people liked it. So more different people change, taste change. More people will understand my humor or my references. So I just keep changing it to make it interesting for myself.
Why don't you sell them on T-shirts or posters?
I do. I have T-shirts. I do some T-shirts on my website. That's one of them. Blame John Waters. That's one of my favorite ones, because that's my answer to a lot of things is just blame John Waters. That's why I think it's funny. I do T-shirts, and then I make pins. I turn some of them into little enamel pins. And there's like one of disco era Divine. Woohoo, if I can get it on camera.
It was beautiful.
And then I do some more like I said, some more weird mashup ones. So there's like Connie and Raymond as Beavis and Butthead. Just as this cackling pair of monsters. So occasionally I'll do pins, and that's because I was trying to find some pins online, and that's when I discovered that the studios and whoever owns them don't do any of it. So there is no real merchandise out there. So I had to just make my own, and to do that I had to make tiny batches, and I had to sell what remained. So that's what I had done as a little side business.
All right, and let's post his address one more time up there where they can get contact with Mr. B there, Mr. B Nation at Instagram.
Mr. B Nation. Yep.
All right. Now, Mr. B, hang in there. We're going to have you back, and we'll talk with Scott and Irving, and you can talk amongst each other about John Waters. So, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. B. All right, Russell, come on in.
Amazing.
It's a lot of fun, but we have more to come. What's coming out?
We do. We still have Irving Green to talk with, our good friend who's been on the show before and is now in a John Waters film. And then you're going to spend some time with all of our guests talking, and then a little fun with the guests later on. And of course, we have Rocco and Boog and Shug, and just lots more to the show. So
all right, well, let's show that caption picture. We've had a few guests.
if you've got a
comment
great
on that.
caption for this picture, please send it in to Jack in the comments, label it as a caption, send it in, something funny, and at the end of the show, we'll take a look at them and get some laughs.
All right, very good. And one more plug?
Yes, don't forget the bustiers. If you're watching tonight, it's because these bustiers helped us out, and you can join the bustiers and help us out too using that Venmo at RJD Pro or amberlive.tv. Our website, look for the support Amber Live button if you'd like to use a credit card. So that's a big help. Thank you to all our bustiers.
And now we have something else from Dwayne Scott Cerny, don't we?
We have one more clip from Dwayne Scott Cerny.
On the bottom of my screen, I can see people who are in the green room. And as Dwayne was talking about all those items, Scott's eyes just kind of said, "Oh, I want that. I want that." I saw you, Scott. All right. All right. It's so great to welcome back one of my favorite people and frequent guests, Irving Green. Irving, come on in.
Hi. Hey, Amber.
How did you get better looking?
Oh, stop. I live in LA after all. Don't forget.
So our theme tonight is John Waters. What's your connection with John Waters?
Yeah. Okay. So I first heard of John Waters years ago when I started watching Drag Race, actually. And a lot of my friends who would watch the show would kind of give me the scoop. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's very raunchy, very raunchy. And then, yeah, fast forward now, and here we are in a movie with John, which is just crazy.
What is the movie?
The movie is Boomslang 3, Your Future. Oh, there's the poster right there. Yeah, it's written by Alan Osborne and directed by Justin Schwan.
And it's number 3. What I did not see 1 and 2. What's the premise of the series?
No worries. So the series follows Eric Boomslang. He's this very charming, dapper, like great guy who's also a serial killer. So he's kind of cray-cray. And in the different films leading up to this one, there's always a different adventure, a different cast of characters, and a different murder. So yeah, and then I wasn't in the other 2, but I got the opportunity to play this role in the 3rd one, and it's a lot of fun. It's me playing the psychic assistant Ali, and then Miss June is played by Trisha Stahl. There she is. She's amazing. Okay, we just had so much fun and this chemistry. Just trying to pull one over on Eric, but things get very interesting.
Oh, I understand we have a clip too of that, or a trailer.
Let's play
it. Watch that.
What question about your future can I answer for you?
What sort of chicanery goes on here?
Hi, I'm a trainer, Wolfgang. You messaged me on the Christian Mingle app to train?
He represented Meryl Streep.
Oh, I never heard of him.
That dyslexic ghost is back. What's a murder?
I believe that's a murder.
Then let's grab your purse and the can and get the hell out of here.
Oh, no, I'm not afraid of him.
Now, the way we work here is, if she tells you something that comes true after you leave, you send us $150 via Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, Apple Pay, or Western Union.
You can tell all that from Coffee Cat.
I'm telling you what I see.
Are you sensing anything? Because, girl, you look like you're being tasered.
Oh, the lighting's so bad here. God, I'd rather die.
That it looks like a John Waters film.
Yeah, I mean, our writer Alan, he's incredible, and John Waters is such a big inspiration to him. And when I got the script and was like, okay, can you do this thing? I was like, yeah, this is wacky and crazy and fun. Let's go.
Did you spend any time with John?
I have not. I have yet to spend any time with John. I was like, oh my God, I meet John. John had his stuff done before we even started shooting. I mean, the professional he is, he was like, that's done. But I did get to see a couple of the outtakes, which is just hilarious.
What's the future of the film? Where will it be seen?
Yeah, so right now, Boomslang 3 is playing in film festivals around the world, okay, which is crazy because I was just like, oh, Tokyo and saw us, all these other places like are writing reviews, which is just wonderful. And the previous one was actually played in Cannes, which is crazy too. And so you can, if you're in a film festival, check your listings, see what's up, see what you got in your area, and then the previous two can be seen on Big Picture Artists' YouTube and website. You can catch it.
What else are you doing now? That's in the can, so to speak. So what's going on in your world, Irving?
Oh, Amber, there's a lot. I don't sleep, but that's okay. We'll sleep later. I've just been very fortunate and blessed to be able to be very busy this year. Let's see what I can say, because the thing is NDAs. I have signed many of the NDAs. So
I never made you sign one.
No. All your secrets are aired, honey. We know your secret. No, so I did recently on Netflix, there's a film called Rainbow that's streaming now. I am the English voice for the character Akeen. It's kind of like a retelling of The Wizard of Oz. Directed by Paco de Leon. So that's a really good one. And then just some other things, video games, animations, some other things that are all 2023. Oh. That's all I can say.
What would be your ideal gig?
My ideal gig. Oh, okay. Well, voice acting wise, and everyone who knows me knows this, I would die if I could be in Overwatch. That is my thing. That got me into voice acting. And then for on camera, I am working my way to be up in a Marvel movie. Okay, that is my thing. I'm trying to be a Wakandan. Wakanda forever. I am ready. Please put me in a Marvel movie, please. I'm trying.
You've done so much. You've done stage work. You've done stand-up comedy. You've done this film. You do the voiceovers. What's your favorite?
Oh, that's tough. They're also different, but they pull from the same source. All of it is acting. All of it is entertaining. All of it is reacting and interacting. It's all of that. I'm a big nerd, so I grew up playing video games. To me, that was my escape. That was my Saturday morning cartoon. That was just the way to get out of the headspace you were in and just go into this fantasy land. So for me, my favorite and definitely what keeps me most busy at the moment is voiceover, specifically video games, because and you'll see when these things come out, but I am playing characters that I always dreamed of, as 9-year-old Irving would say. It's like, oh, I want to do that one day, and it's like I'm doing it, which is really, really, really crazy to think about and inspiring.
That is so cool. Thank you so much, Irving. Mm-hmm. All right, now I want to bring back the other guests, Mr. B Nation and Scott Elkins, and you guys have listened to each other talk. So, do you have any questions for anybody?
Hello.
Hi. I mean, I'll ask. That's a lot of stuff.
Which one you looking at?
Scott and B Nation, you guys. I mean, it's like you're making the stuff, B Nation. Scott, you're collecting the stuff. I'm like, my goodness, I'm obsessed with all kinds of nerdy stuff, but I don't have a whole wall just yet.
Definitely obsessed. Right word.
Absolutely. No, I'm in envy of his collection. It is one of the best I've seen.
So, Scott, what do you do what's your real world like, other than with that little closet you're in?
My real world. Well, I work just like everyone else. I mean, I wear all of Mr. B Nation's designs. You can't see them right now. It's under. This is actually a Tracy Lord shirt she sent me. My crybaby. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm always spreading John Waters love. At my job, I'm teaching young people about it. I'm teaching old people about it that don't know about it. I'm teaching dogs about it, cats. I mean, I have a normal life, pretty normal life, I guess. I'm married. I mean, I do have other interests, but I mean, the Instagram, 104,000 followers. That's a lot of followers. I mean, I update every day. I mean, it takes a lot of.
Yes, it does. Well,
looking at iPads, saving things, coming up with what I'm going to post, you know, but I'm fairly normal in a weird way, I guess.
in the West Virginia gay guy type of thing.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
So, Mr. B Nation, he said he was wearing your outfit. Are you a clothes designer as well?
No. It's the T-shirt. Some of my designs I will have printed on T-shirts, and Scott's wearing one.
All right.
I'll undress.
You should have seen the show 2 weeks ago when we had the sex worker from Germany.
Wow.
Hey,
that's
cool.
That's really
one of
great.
many.
Yeah, did you see Dwayne Scott Tierney's divine sweater that he wore?
The Christmas sweater.
That was great. That was great. No, Irving, you don't need a T-shirt.
Okay, I was like, I'm over here like,
you're looking fine.
I was just gonna show some titty to make up.
You go right ahead. Well, you know, if you want to be a Marvel star, you're going to have to show some skin. You know,
I am ready. I'm in the gym ready.
Oh, well, and what gym is that? Let me write that down.
Okay, I know, right? In the shower specifically.
Oh, all right. So I put together anybody have any other questions for anybody?
I just want to say it's a small world. It's a small world, Scott, that you know people that know me, that I know you, that it's
yeah. Oh yeah. We're connected now.
One is even from West Virginia that sent me a message that said that he worked with you.
Yeah. Oh, I've done many things. I mean, listen, I've done so many jobs in this city. You have to in this city to make it. You know what I mean? Like, not every day is a glamorous actor day, you know, as much as I would love to live that. You know, still got to work and put in that time, you know, everything in its time. So I've met and done a lot of work.
Someone says Irving will be on Marvel.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So my first question, I'll give it to you, Scott. John Waters has over 8,000 of these in his home. What are they?
I think the answer is books.
Books is correct. Yes, and his says if you go home with somebody and they don't have books, don't. That's what he says.
Can you not say that on your show?
Oh, I could. I'm sure I have. All right, Mr. B. What did John do all the way from Baltimore to San Francisco?
He hitchhiked.
Yes, he did. And of course, he wrote a book about it. John Waters Hitchhikes Across America. Can you imagine driving along and you see this lanky guy with a sleazy mustache and you're going, do I pick him up?
Yes, is the answer.
Yes. We've all picked up worse. We know that. That's all right. Irving, this is for you.
Huh?
Who was an early influence on John, not only by personality, but with style?
Okay. Well, this is where the streak ends. I am gonna say Joan Crawford.
Nope. Went down the wrong road there. That would be Little Richard.
Yeah. Oh, that makes so much sense.
Oh yeah. And John said that Little Richard was always a great figure of rebellion and sexual confusion, and he scared my parents.
That makes so much sense.
It does.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody? What is John's favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Christmas it is. He has a traveling one-person show called John Waters Christmas, which Lucy Bell and I saw a couple of years ago here in Burlington, Vermont. It was a funny show. And all right, anybody else? Why was John Waters expelled from New York University?
He punched the kid or punched a person. It's a new university.
No, Scott knows. Scott knows. He was smoking the moochie woochie. Yes, he was. And, just as a bonus, but in 2015, John was awarded an honorary doctorate from the Rhode Island School of Design. And during the commencement address, he told the graduates, it's time to get busy. It's your turn to cause trouble, but this time in the real world, and this time from the inside. Isn't that great?
Chaos.
He's empowering them.
Really?
He's just empowering them, saying now, go out and have some fun and make some trouble. Well, thank you guys so much tonight. I've so enjoyed talking about John Waters and Divine and meeting you and seeing some people again. So Scott Elkins, thank you so much. Mr. B Nation and Irving Green, always good to see you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Irving, can't wait to see the movie.
Yes, watch it. It's so much fun. Enjoy.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Very good. Okay. All righty. And let's see. Who else might have some comments about John Waters or Divine? Does Rocco have anything to say?
Not yet. He doesn't.
Okay.
He's joining us, but in the meantime, you'll have to talk to Rusty Peen about John Waters.
Oh, Rusty Peen has something to say about John Waters?
Oh shit, dude! What day is it?
Sunday.
Oh, welcome to Amber Live. I'm Rusty Peen from the Beaver Pond Guns and Tackle Society, where our mission is to arm more drag queens because a loaded drag queen is a safe drag queen. And dude, it's time for a social first and foremost, Amber. But second of all, dude, of course I know about John Waters. It was always Ma Peen's mission to make sure to educate all of us little peen pods growing up so that we knew who John Waters was as a piece of American art and experience. In fact, I started in the right direction, starting with Pink Flamingos. That was the first movie she showed us little peen pods. It was about 8 or 9. Dude, that was a favorite one. Dude, always looking forward to that Eggman coming around because he had all the green eggs and the blue eggs and the red eggs. And dude, there ain't no better Eggman in town than the Eggman.
No.
Oh, dude, this other time I went to New York City, I went to the John Waters exhibit, and this is some piece of merch that I picked up there, bud. This is the Beverly Hills John exhibit that he did there, where he did a screening of a bunch of little peen pods reading the script of Pink Flamingos. It was sweet, dude.
So you saw him in person?
Not that time, but another time I went to New York City and saw a screening of Polyester, and he was there to do a Q&A. It was sweet, dude.
Did you have any Q or A for him?
Dude, I wanted to know about that picture with the painting with all the feet in it, and who did that. And that was a piece of art that was created for the film, bud. Dude, want to know some stories about Steve Bader's the punk rock dude? Dude, want to know about what that lady who dragged him off the bus? That's the best scene in the movie right there, bud. Yeah, dude.
Wait, Rusty, I'm getting a message in my ear.
About Tom Hunter and how they were really good friends.
Rusty, I'm hearing from Russell right now, and he says that Rocco Zamboni is ready. So we can go to Rocco. Thank you very much, Rusty. Thank you, Russell. Rocco.
What, you had that guy talking before I got here?
Well, we pay you, for an hour's work, Rocco.
Hey, I got things to do, I'm sitting here thinking about John Waters.
I was going to say shaving is not one of them, is it?
What?
Shaving is not one of the things you were thinking about.
Hell no. You kidding? The ladies love this.
Thigh burns, yeah.
It makes them tickle and stuff.
So I'm sorry. Continue with your story about John Waters, Rocco.
No, I was going to say, he's an American icon and a personal hero of mine. Because, anybody who thought about making movies about transvestites and doing things like that, he's all right. But what it comes down to is this guy, he created one of my favorite movie experiences of all time.
And that is?
Hairspray. I know you might be thinking, what about Polyester, Pink Flamingos? They're all great. They're fantastic. Weird, but I love them. But Hairspray had something to it.
The original.
The original, yes. But I do have to talk about the time I went to Broadway to see pretty much in its opening month the Broadway production of Hairspray.
I saw that.
Now, of course we saw the movie and you're like, this is great. I love everything about it. It's fun. It's funny. It's poignant. It's got a great message. It was his only PG-13 movie he's ever made. He said he wanted to commit suicide when he got that rating. Doesn't surprise me. But when I saw this play and the music, I was just like, this is the perfect production. I absolutely loved everything about it. It was fantastic.
Now, did you see Harvey Fierstein as the mother?
I did.
Oh.
I ran into him when I was at a restaurant one time, and I said, this was funny. All right, I'm going off on a tangent here about Harvey Fierstein. The guy, his voice is, again, iconic. I had lost my voice for a while, and I talked a little like this. I'm not joking. This is how I talk. I said, he came into the restaurant I was working in. He goes, table for two? I said, oh, you like a table for two? And he looked at me and goes, excuse me? I lost my voice. I'm not making fun of you. He goes, I said, I don't have a voice like yours. He goes, you should be so lucky.
Oh,
and then he
do that
walked
very
away
well.
and left me in the dirt.
You do that. You do a very good.
It's practice.
You got that little snap to it.
But going back to Hairspray, the Broadway musical, I freaking absolutely loved it. Mark Shaman, holy crap, that guy is also fantastic composer. And did you see the movie with John Travolta?
I refuse to.
Let me tell you, you might not be thrilled about John Travolta in the part of Edna Turnblad, but the movie itself had the energy and charisma, and it just brought everything together. Even John Travolta didn't screw it up. He was good. As you say, he was passable. He did all right.
I would have rather had Harvey or some other.
Yeah, I would have too.
Yeah.
It would have been perfect to see that.
Yeah.
But there was everything I wanted in a movie musical, because that's one of my favorite things.
We want to do a remake. If the Beaver Pond players ever do Hairspray, Johnny says Rocco as Edna.
Do I use my Harvey Fierstein voice? Hey, Amber, come on. Big ain't the problem in this family, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Rocco.
I can go on, but I'm going to stop here because I'm going to go watch Hairspray again and listen to the soundtrack from the Broadway production again, and I'm going to watch the original again.
Wow, you got a night cut out for you.
I know, a lot of Hairspray. What the hell's going on with all that Hairspray? There goes the ozone layer.
Thank you, Rocco.
I'll see you later.
All right. Hey, Jack, come on in. Is Jack here or it's Rocco?
Dude, then there's that scene in Crybaby when Crybaby's girlfriend's capturing all her tears in a jar. Dude, I got an interesting piece of merch for you. It ain't Crybaby's tears. But this is a jar full of Amber Heard's tears that she's been crying into a jar because of Johnny Depp.
Are you sure they're her tears?
Dude, I don't know. I ain't drank it none. It could be worth something. I got it from a dude from Dwayne Scott Cerny, pulled down from his attic, and that was in the John Waters collection.
So Rusty, do you have any comments that people have made about the picture there?
Dude, most of the comments I got are just 4-letter words. Oh, you talking about the picture, bud? Yeah, people wrote in about that. Okay, dude, let's start from the top, bud. We had... Oh, shit, dude. Oh, this fucker right here, Johnny says, who farted? Dude, who's that fucker on the left? Is that Joe Strummer?
I don't know who that is.
Okay, bud, we're moving right along. Josh Pittman is in the skunks. Could be
Similar comment. Bud. Yeah.
Okay, bud. Cousin Craig had something to say. He's dude, I didn't invite them. I thought you invited them. Gary Buck says it's Illyria, Miss R. Get it right. He's from Elyria, Ohio, bud. Dude, we got a cultural.
Yeah, no, not anymore. Now he's from Lorraine. He's moved up in the world. He's
I can't keep track. I need one of those cold case boards with all the yarn attached to it, bud. Okay, dude.
Any others?
We got one more, and it comes from Big J, who says, "Is this a play photo?" So this gotta be the set of polyester. That's Stiff Bader's there on the left.
I think so. Well, thank you very much, Rusty. Let's bring Russell in.
Hey.
Someone suggests that is.
Dude, is it? Yeah, but Ken King was at the screening that I saw of polyester. You're right, dude. You know your shit. That's right, bud. Dude, here's a fun fact. Cousin Bones went to UVM for a minute, and he was roommates with Ken King. Did you know that, bud?
I did not know that.
Dude, you should ask him sometime. He knows Ken King.
I did not know that.
Name drop.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Rusty, that you've added a lot of color tonight, and I appreciate that.
That's what I'm here for, bud. Say what you will, but I got an album. I got all sorts of language.
Yes.
It's not suitable for peen pods who watch the show. But dude, I don't know why you're letting children watch this show, bud.
Do we have Rusty's address that people can reach out to Rusty?
Oh yeah, bud. Just reach out to me at rustypeen@gmail.com. Type it in the fucker for you.
Meanwhile,
so Russell, there it is.
That's all you gotta do. Just right down there. You can type it into your email and let me know what you're thinking and what you're drinking, and also what topics you'd like to see when next time I film an episode of Thinking and Drinking.
Yeah.
rustypeen@gmail.com. Also on Instagram and all your fine social media platforms.
Thank you very much, Rusty. We'll see you sometime soon.
Yeah. Dude, I'm over.
Get him out of here.
All right. So Russell, thank you. It was a great show tonight. Very fast. A lot of nice talk about John Waters and
so
Divine.
Much fun.
Yes, I want to thank our guests and the Irving and Scott and Mr. B Nation and Dwayne Scott Cerny. I loved his segments tonight as well, and Rocco and Rusty as well. So what's coming up next week?
Well, believe it or not, next week we have more Dwayne Scott Cerny.
There's more.
Dwayne has a new book out, Vintage Confidential, and he's going to come on and talk all about his new book, what's in it. Maybe we can even convince him to read a little bit of it to us if we're lucky. But it's a great book. I'm almost done with his first one and about to start on Vintage Confidential. So they're great, and he's a really fun writer. So that's going to be great. And then our good friend Jack connected us with a drag queen that Jack has actually worked with, and she goes by the name of did I write it down right? Robusta Cap. And she and her partner are putting together a show, and it will be running in December. And so they're going to come on and talk about the work they do and talk about their upcoming show.
Oh, how exciting. Very good. All right. We got Dwayne Scott from Chicago and New York drag queens. All right. That's going to be a fun show.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
So I'll hope to see everybody next week.
Yes. All right. That's tonight's show. Thank you so much. And if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe. Thank you very much. And hey, Boog and Shug, what do you got for me this week?
What's the best thing about Rocco? He's not Rusty Peen. Nope. He dresses nicely. Nope. He smells like a McRib. Nope. I give up. What's the best thing about Rocco? When he's done, the show is over.